going to study about the Placoid scales. Today we are going to study about the Placoid scales. Okay. As we know that there are different types of scales in the species, that is non-placoid as well as placoid scales. So today we are going to study about the placoid scales only. So as we know that exoskeleton is outer covering of the body and that is made up of two types of scales. Epidermal scales and the dermal scales. Epidermis is the upper layer of the skin or the outer layer of the skin. The epidermal scales are cornified derivatives of malphizian layer of epidermis. For example, reptile birds and the mammals. The dermal scales is mesenchymal in origin and that is developed in fishes. So, the origin, the secretory activity of both dermis and epidermis, example placoid scales of elasmobranchs. So, the origin of placoid scales are both, that is dermis and the epidermis. So, dermis or the dermal origin of the non-placoid scales are cosmoid, gonad, cycloid and the ctenoid scales. So, now the placoid scales. Placoid scales or the dermal is also known. Placoid scales are also known as dermal denticles of elasmobranchs. Okay, so the examples are that is shark, rays and the skates. That is shark is chondrioctis. Okay, that is cartilaginous fishes. It is closely set. The placoid scales are closely set but don't overlap with each other. Placoid scales consist of two parts, the basal plate and the trident spine. And again, the placoid scale arises from the rhomboidal plate embedded in the dermis. Again, the basal part of the placoid scale, the shape of the basal plate is known as, it is a diamond shape or the shape is also known as rhomboidal. Okay, so it is formed of cement-like material. This basal plate is embedded in the dermis. Okay, so what you have to do is here, that is dermis. Okay, so the basal plate is embedded. The basal plate is embedded in a dermis and attached to strong fiber of connective tissue. The basal plate having a small opening which leads into a pulp cavity of the spine. Pulp contain the vascular connective tissue, blood vessels, nerves, lymph channels and numerous odontoblast cells. Okay, now the spine of the placoid scale. The shape of spine, that is flat, backwardly directed trident structure, and the spine project over the skin surface and the surface look like a stratified surface. Now, the chemical composition of the spine is the dentine is a material, is a calcareous substance and it is traversed by a minute parallel canaliculi with delicate branches. Dentine, so this dentine covered by vitrodentine. Okay, so this vitrodentine is hard and translucent and this dentine is secreted by epidermis of the skin. So, the placoid scales derived partly from epidermis and partly from the dermis. So, the basal plate and the dentine of the spine are mesodermal origin and enamel is ectodermal in origin. That's why the placoid scales are both, that is epidermal and the dermal in origin. Okay, now in the next slide you can see here the structure of the placoid scale. You can see here the scales do not overlap each other. Okay, so here you can see, so this portion is known as spine and this portion is known as basal plate. So the rhomboidal basal plate and this opening, so this is the opening of the basal plate. Okay, again this pulp cavity, as we know that it containing a blood vessels, connective tissue. Again, this spine is a trident spine. Tri means three, a denticle like structure. That's why the spine is known as trident spine. Okay, so this is the whole structure of the placoid scale. Okay, so this is the spine and this is the basal plate of the placoid scale. You can see here the arrangement of the placoid scale, that is scales are backwardly directed. Thank you.